man. I had a partial scholarship to play baseball for, like, I think it was Virginia Tech State,
Wow. What position
and
you play?
I played pitcher and I was a catcher, but mostly the pitcher.
Nice. All right, for sure. For sure. So what you made a decision between music and baseball, or you just kind of like, baseball didn't work out? Like what happened about that?
I knew I was good at baseball. That's the funny thing about it, man. Because like quiet as kept, like the Indians like invited me to like their little youth minor league like camp, like to like just come out to meet the players, go out there and throw the ball around. So you had to be selected. And then during that time as a youth, like we had one like we was like the first black team in the city that ever won like a championship. So like I had like played for the Little League World Series, went to the playoffs out there, man, and got beat by some boys down in Florida, like real bad. But years, like 3 or 4 years after that, like I ended up like linking up with Krayzie Bone. Like ended up meeting my girl and her brother was Krayzie Bone. And like I never like actually told the dude I rap. I had seen Cray like 5, 6 times over at the house, but I never approached him though. His mother found my demo one day and like slid it to her son. And my phone rang one night, like 1 in the morning. My girl talking to her brother on the phone, and I'm just sitting there chilling. I'm blowing, and she's like, "Yo, my brother want to talk to you." And he's like, "Yo, why you ain't tell me you rap?" And I'm like, "I've been knowing Steve. We've been trying to like late for the longest, man. He keeps telling me like he got us and got us. So we just patiently waiting." He was like, "No, you got some nice music, man. Like, how would you feel like coming down to California for a while?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm with it." So he like flew me down to Cali, man, for the first time. I was like 19, 20. Then like I thought like, yo, this is like about to happen. But he was going through his little thing with the labels he was dealing with. So it was like, I wouldn't say bad timing, but I learned a lot from watching that guy in the studio. So when I came back to Cleveland, I learned how to do my ad libs differently from watching him in the studio back then. So like I took everything as a learning experience back then. Like even though like it probably didn't pan out like I wanted it to pan out, everything back then was just like learning it. And my homeboy in the studio was doing my music, man, my producer, man. Shout out to my dude Diak. He was like, "You got this voice, man. This style's like it's raspy. You need to run with that." Because I was trying this style and this style. And like real spit, like I had like a amount of development deal with Ruff Ryder Records, man. So I was out in Yonkers, going to Yonkers at the time, like 3 or 4 times, man. So I was seeing like the Locks, DMX, and we out there in Yonkers, man. And dude, like I gave him 4 songs, right? He like, and each of the songs sounded different. He like, I ain't really feeling the other 3, but this one right here, bring me back 4 more like these, and we can do some work. But then, like, the thing with Cray happened, so I ended up going to LA, and then they label ended up, like, folding like way, so that disappeared from me. But I ended up being out there with a girl named Boo Styles, and Boo Styles was on 106 Park, and she was, like, murdering dudes in the freestyle battles. It was just cool to go out to Yonkers, man, and see her out there, and we from the same neighborhood. So, I always felt like, I can do this, man. I never felt like I couldn't do it. All my friends was going to college, man, and doing their thing, man. I'm like, I'm gonna be a rapper one day. I'm gonna be a rapper one day. They're like, all right, whatever, whatever.
Tell me this. So you get invited by Krayzie Bone from the extraordinary group Bone Thugs and Harmony to come to LA because he wants to see, what other potential that you have in your music, right?
Right.
Pack your bags. You tell your people you going to LA. You get on the plane. You're in the airport. You got on the plane. You land in LA. What happens?
I was broke in the joke, right? And I'm on the plane with a lady, right? And I'm telling her my story on the plane. And she, an older lady, she's like, well, I wish you luck. God gonna bless you. Give me the whole speech. It put me in some tears like that because I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous, man. I had never been nervous in my life about rap because I always felt like I had it. And I was sitting in the airport. When I got there, I called his phone. He like, I ain't even in town. I'm like, hold on, you booked me to come out, but you ain't here. So he like, well, where you at? I'm like, I'm at LAX. He like, well, hold on. Damn. So I'm like 5 hours away from where I'm supposed to be at. So he sent one of his artists to pick me up. And I'm sitting in the airport, 2 hours go by. And the same lady walked by me, was like, you still here? I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for my ride to come here. She said, you okay? I said, yeah, I'm kind of hungry. She was like, she gave me some money to go eat, and she was like, "You remember me when you make it one day, because I want that meal back." I said, "No, I most definitely got you, but Once I got to LA, man, I linked up with Cray when he got back. He put me in the studio. He basically said, this is what you're going to do every day from 12 to 12. This is what you're going to do. And I was in the studio constantly with him, man. I remember like meeting rappers like Drama and a couple of cats like that out there, man. So it was like an experience. I actually never recorded when I got there. I was just basically networking with him. And I didn't understand the politics of networking. So everywhere he went, I was going with him. And didn't understand like what was going on at the time. I'm thinking like, yo, why ain't in the studio yet? Why ain't in the booth yet? But it was really showing me some shit, man, on how to network and putting me in play with people, man. So I will always say I'm with Cray. Be like, nah, you just gotta come out here and network. Don't be saying you with me because you ain't signing me yet. I want you to meet people because I'm trying to like get you on out here. So if I ain't putting you on, maybe they gonna put you on. Just take the opportunity and soak it in, man, and just learn from it, man. So I learned that from that day. And just watch him in the studio. And then like one day walk in the studio, you're like, yo, right to this beat. And it's like four of us, man. It was like making it a band. It was like four of us out there. It was me, a cat named Kmont, a dude named Asu, and a dude named Bam. And we all from different cities. And I had never wrote a song on the spot. It normally took me like days to write a verse.
What the fuck?
Oh man, it took me days to write a verse, man. Look, I had a speech impediment lightweight growing up, and I still got it to this day. Like I got a habit of talking fast, maybe stuttering when I talk a little bit. So I always try to take my time when I wrote the raps. But that day, I wrote the rap, and he come back in. I was the only dude in the studio that really had his bars together. And I remember on the ride back, we was riding in the car. He like, yo, man, you really slick with it. It just felt great to hear him say I was slick with it because I really didn't even like the verse. But he like, no, it's slick. We just, we got to tighten it up a little bit, throw a little ad-libs on it, do a little mix down. But, dude, you slick with it. So that, gave me confidence, to like that, okay, I might have a little something here going on. So it just made me want to do it more, man, and get better at it, man, because to see him to believe in me, he was like one of my favorite artists growing up. So it's like, yo, the meeting, be out there with him in the studio, to hear him saying you got some talent. It made me, it kind of made me a little cockier than what I was. So I was like, oh yeah, I got this right here. I got this right here. So I learned an experience, man, whole learning experience.